Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Somos Mas, the official podcast of Somos Mas NM and your source for the latest news and notes on New Mexico United and the New Mexico Runners. My name, of course, is Seth Bidoff. Joining me this evening with what we're dubbing our season preview episode, finally, Jacob Terrell, Earl Nieto, and our good friend Harry. You guys know him as at Ram and Call across social media. Guys, we got a loaded show tonight, a lot to get to. I do have one burning question for you, though, Earl.
Nope, don't have time.
No? Okay, fine. Moving right along.
I'm just kidding.
Look. We all heard Jacob's wife a while ago, so now we know why he has a hard cutoff today. We all know.
Pretty much. Bed, 10 o'clock. Let's go, guys. Or 11 o'clock.
Yep, no, that's it. We got to get out of here.
It'd be 9 o'clock your time.
Yeah,
so
we are.
9 o'clock bedtime. Let's go.
Okay, we've wasted a minute 22. What's your burning question?
Burning question. Now that Las Vegas has finally signed some people, is it going to matter?
Answer is absolutely not. Carry on.
They're a playoff team.
I will have an answer for that later, Harry. You
there we
stole our thunder there. But thanks. I appreciate
it. Yes, the question.
Vegas is Vegas for a reason, and I will not see myself on a mattress on the sideline playing with fucking blow.
That's gone. That's all
Dude,
gone. Jose Batista's an owner now. Joey Bats.
And the Las Vegas Lights are in the NASCAR race. He's in the pace car or something along those lines.
Yeah.
Dude, this ain't your Las Vegas Lights of old with the mattresses and the cash grabs. This is a serious organization that maybe not this year, but Jacob knows.
We're there, Harry. We're there.
All right, folks. Like I said, we have a full show this evening, a lot to get to. And, let's just start right into it. The big news of the week. Well, really, I guess 2 weeks ago, we if not for our delay the week prior, we would have been live last week. The big news, and we'll get right into it. Two big announcements from New Mexico United. Not only did Austin Yearwood retire, we also have what we believe may be the retirement of Chris Wehan, who suffered a setback on his injury. And as we saw in his social media post, there was a clause written into his new contract that he signed in the offseason that allowed the club to terminate his contract in the case of a re-injury. Let's get thoughts first on both of these guys. Year one guys who've been with New Mexico United since day one. Bees and Austin Yearwood, both fan favorites. And we talked a lot about Bees at the end of last season. Would he be back? Could he come back from that injury? And it's disappointing, number one, to see the setback. But were you surprised to see the club move on from him?
If the injury is going to be like another year, if he refractured it, which some circles are saying again, then no, because that's that somebody that good wasn't cheap anyways. And if you had him signed, the season hadn't even started, he gets re-injured, you're not going to have him all year, then the business side of it says you put that clause in there for a reason. He got hurt. You need to use that clause to get out of this contract so you can go and make other moves. Am I happy about it? Obviously, no. Most people aren't happy about it. I don't think it's a great way to treat the leader in pretty much every stat out there for New Mexico United. But he signed the contract. He knew that there was a possibility of that happening again. And if it happened, then he was probably going to get let go. And so it just kind of sucks all around. Sucks that he's injured. Sucks that we had to release him, or we did release him. But I don't think he's done. Josh over in the comments said he sensed a bit of salt in his video talking about Wehan explaining it, which, yeah, I imagine it's a mix of salt and hurt and everything else on top of being injured. So just a crappy situation all around. And then Austin retiring doesn't fully surprise me, but we've got to lead the league in players playing their last season for us.
It might be close to it at this point.
You got Dev, Schmidt, Suggs, Jerome Kiesewetter played his last professional match for us. He's a realtor now. I don't know if you knew that, but if you follow him on social media, that's what he's doing now.
Josh Goss.
Yeah, well, yeah, but I mean, he played one season. Like
JOG.
Long, yeah. Juan Pablo Guzman, I don't think has played again. I mean, there's a bunch of them, and it's kind of crazy. But I love Austin. Miss him. I'll miss him, but I'm sure he's on to bigger and better things. He's a good guy, smart guy. He'll do good no matter where he goes.
Harry, I want to ask you specifically because as an outsider, you've referred to Bees as Mr. Handball. Obviously,
No
obviously a long time player within the USL. What are your thoughts on him leaving I guess you'd call it a rival club? Do you think, given the severity of this injury, especially the re-injury of a fractured knee, does he land somewhere else? Or do you think this could be it for Mr. Handball?
I hope not. I hope just on how New Mexico presented it, they came out, they're going to celebrate him throughout the year is what they've said. You guys probably have more details on it than I do. To me, I'm hoping, he has the initial disappointment, through here, but he strikes me as somebody that will hopefully stay with the club, maybe on the academy side, maybe with coaching along those lines, if that's the direction that he wants to go with. But I find it hard to believe that he's going to go elsewhere, especially at USL level, USL championship level. Could he possibly go down to League One, possibly like PC did? Like we thought he was going to retire, but he went to Omaha. But with him coming off back-to-back serious injuries, which it has to be a serious injury for New Mexico to cut him, hopefully he set himself up, for the future in the right way, which, just in my very, very limited interactions with him, he strikes me as somebody that, while he loves the game, he loves the banter, like I said here, he signed my Mr. Handball flag that I had here that, I've got put up in my soccer stuff is kind of cool things to have. But to me, like I said, I'm hoping once time heals a little bit, he recovers from whatever his injury is, that he's able to kind of help New Mexico or the academy out or something along those lines.
Earl, you've been a fan since year one, like all of us. Give us some recollections of Austin and Bees, and which one hurts most for you?
I mean, they both hit hard. I mean, they don't really hurt. I mean, the Josh Suggs retirement is the one that hit me the hardest. I mean, with Bees, you had to expect it. I mean, most of the year before he was injured. A good portion of last year he was injured. So he's always had some kind of injury going on. So I think it was right for the club to put that clause into his new contract. But I mean, he's a really good player. I mean, we watched him drain free kicks from 50, 30 yards out as if there were nothing. So, I mean, Bees hurts because he was kind of a firecracker for the offense. But then Austin hurts in the same sense because he was reliable. And we saw that last season where he was jetting down the pitch to make the last effort save, the last ditch stop, because Alex was caught off guard. And I'm going to keep it at that.
I was about to mute you. I was about to mute you.
That's why I worded it caught off guard. So, I mean, both hurt in their own sense. I mean, you can't put one and the other together because they played two different styles of soccer. I mean, one was made for scoring goals and the other one was made for stopping it.
Yeah, it's tough. These are guys, like I said, these are guys that are year one guys. And I had the opportunity after season one to have a bit of a chat with Austin on a plane ride. Just happened, just a chance encounter. Talk to Austin, and we got to know him over a couple of years, and he's such Austin is such a good guy. He really is. And you hate to see someone leave, but you hope he's got bigger and better things on the horizon for him. And as far as bees goes, we talked about it at the end of last year. I talked about how difficult
I hate our guest.
to come back
I
from that
hate
injury.
our guest.
That wasn't our guest. It was a different Harry Austin.
Yeah, I talked about how hard it'd be for him to come back from that injury, and we kept hearing for weeks that he was going to come back. He was going to come back, and it just didn't happen. And to hear that there's a re-injury of that knee in preseason, it's gonna be hard to not see Bees in the black and yellow out there on the pitch, because he was a leader. He was a tremendously skilled player. And Josh had a comment back here, our best player on free kicks for sure. I think that's debatable. I think Justin Portillo is a bit better in terms of set piece delivery.
So I will say Weehan was the best free kick taker if it was going to be a direct shot on goal.
Mm-hmm.
And then Portillo was a little bit better at serving one in for other people to go attack.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I can absolutely agree with that. So it's going to be odd. It's going to be odd not seeing the two of them back next year. Like Harry mentioned, maybe they get involved somehow. Maybe B sticks around and becomes part of the academy, part of the coaching staff. We just don't know at this point. But to Harry's point,
the video he put out made it sound like he was still part of the club in some form.
Right. Yeah, and again, we just don't know at this point. We don't know what that's going to look like. We don't know what his involvement will be. And like Harry said, with the announcement, the club is going to be celebrating him throughout the year. It does sound like he's going to be around for some time. So obviously we wish both of them well, and we hope to see them again.
I'll definitely be looking for him March 9th to see if he's somewhere in the stands, up in the suites, in a box somewhere, one of the boxes somewhere, for sure. But with players leaving, that also opens the door for players to come in. And there's actually been 4, by my count, signings since our last podcast together. Mm-hmm. So let's go all the way back to the first one. Do you know who the first one was since the last podcast?
I want to say it was Herbert.
It was actually Talon Maples.
Okay, they were right there. It was like a day.
Talon. So Valentine's Day, they put a post out, teased it, and then they announced center back Talon Maples coming over from Houston Dynamo 2, 25-year-old center back. He really stuck out at media day. He was a big, not tall, but just like kind of, Ryden's called the brick shit house. That's kind of how Talon is built. We saw him at the Black and Yellow Bash. He was loving it up there on the stage with all the new fans. Seems like to me he's going to be a pretty big part of that back line. We only have 4 center backs because the next announcement after that was Anthony Herbert, who is another center back, 6'4", also 25 years old, built completely different. He weighs less than Talon, but is like 6 inches taller than him. But also, I mean, Earl, how did you feel about those two during the black and yellow scrimmage?
So I like them both. I mean, for 2 different reasons. So I'll start with Talon Maples. I mean, what he showed us at the black and yellow scrimmage was he's reliable, and he gives us options at center back that we didn't have since maybe Justin Schmidt.
Yeah, that's a good comp.
Going back to Justin Schmidt, I mean, that was the last time I can think.
Younger Schmitty, for sure.
Of when we had another reliable center back other than our main staple. So he definitely, I don't believe he takes Ryden's position, but he definitely is an option to give Ryden some time to breathe and take some time to himself and actually rest for a couple games if he has to, especially now with us still in the US in the Open Cup and all that fun extra stuff that we'll be doing. I mean, it's hard to play that many games in that short of time. And looking at it, I was looking at the end of the season, we have a tough stretch where we have a Sunday, Wednesday, Saturday, Wednesday, Saturday, Sunday, Wednesday, Saturday game. I mean, we have a lot of three weeks at the end of the season where we're tired. And then, so that just touches on Talon Maples and how he can actually fill in and give some breath when we need it. And then Herbert, he's built like a skyscraper.
We had a talk, me and you and Jane Lilly, who was there at the scrimmage with us afterwards, about who the man of the match was. And me and Earl both sat there and thought, I don't know how we give it to a guy whose team lost 3-0. But if there was any match that was going to be the case, it was going to be this one, because Herbert was everywhere, especially in the first half. And
I said it. I don't know if you heard me, but I did say it.
There we go. Jane in the chat says she still can't decide.
Hi, Jane. So with Herbert, I mean, yeah, we had. I drew a blank on his name. We had it last season. Zali, who was a tall, kind of built like Herbert, but we didn't use him, and we wound up loaning him out to Vegas. And
he was also younger. He was also younger than Herbert, and skinnier than Herbert. He was like tall and lengthy, and Herbert is tall and lengthy, but he has a little bit more size, a little bit more beefiness to him. And man, was he everywhere during that scrimmage. And
yeah, his
really was impressive.
His ball awareness is what stood out the most to me. I mean, even on the back line, he is pacing with the strikers that are going and getting the deep ball sent to him, and he's just clearing everything away.
And then anything in the air towards him, obviously, especially with our players being on the shorter side other than him, he was getting to everything. And so
it's nice to say he's made our back line fortified. By now we have everything low covered with Kalen being able to fall back, and we have our backs, which I have my lineup, a new lineup, by the way, from what I saw this past week. I have a new predicted lineup. He's made
I do
that
too,
back
actually.
line,
Yeah, I did the same thing.
Yeah, so he's made that back line a no-fly zone. So nothing's gonna go up top because he has incredible ball awareness, and he's just on the ball quick.
And then we saw the last signing that they announced as well, or the last two signings that they announced as well. Nanan Hosu actually scored the opening goal of the match. He's a midfielder coming from Loudon. Man, that dude is good.
Was he the word find guy?
Yes. Yes, he was. Virginia. Yeah. That dude, man, he only played the first half, but he had two through balls that blew me away. He scored the goal. He was kind of everywhere. He had some nice tackles. I mean, Herbert and Talon are kind of not lower level signings, but they were definitely signed more for depth and not necessarily to come in and start right away. And then Nanan comes on, and you see him in action in person, and he's 6'3". Like he's a defensive midfielder, but man, is he big. And I'll spoil it a little bit here. He's in my starting lineup opening day easily. The dude is incredible. The midfield, I was trying to do my lineup, and I ended up with Micheletto, Nanan, and Bailey as my 3 in the midfield, which means I'm leaving off Rivas, Nicky, Dayon Harris, Daniel Bruce, Harry Swartz. All 5 of those could be in the starting midfield, and I would not be upset. But when I was sitting there thinking about it, I ended up going with those other 3, and I don't know if I'm right or wrong, but it's a good problem to have in the midfield. We've been shorthanded in the midfield more than anything the last few years. And so to have a problem like that where we could literally plug and play one of 8 guys and be solid, I'm pretty happy with. Earl, did you have thoughts on Nanan from the Black and Yellow Bash? or the black and yellow.
Yeah, I mean, Nanan was impressive for sure. I know he's been training with the club for a while now, from what the release said. But he's quick and he thinks fast on his feet. He doesn't second guess what he's going. I mean, you said it. He had a couple through balls that were there, and a little bit quicker thinking on the other end of that pass. And that's another goal. So I'm hoping, and then he shows that he can score. I mean, he put that one. I mean, granted, it was a trialist.
It took a deflection.
Trialist goalkeeper.
Well, I don't think anybody's stopping it because of the nasty deflection that it took. Because it was headed to the goalkeeper's left, and he dove, and then it took a deflection and ended up hitting the right side of the net. So nobody's stopping that. But just the fact that he's willing to shoot and put it on frame, put it in the mixture. So
he's eager.
It's a good sign.
And I know you said he's a defensive mid, but I mean he
was all over the way. He was box to box.
He played more like a regular. Yeah, exactly. So he definitely can fill the role that we need in the midfield that we've been lacking forever. And I like Nanan, and to give you a spoiler as well, I do have him in my starting lineup. And once again, it was hard who to pick for like a bench and who to pick for that midfield because we're stacked in the midfield. Even with the loss of Bees, this was definitely a good pickup to fill that hole.
So it sounds like you guys had a pretty good time out at the scrimmage on Saturday. What new came out of the Black and Yellow Bash Saturday night?
Hold on, I've got one more thing on the non because I gather I on these guys that I haven't heard much about but have come from the USL. If you can kind of tap into their fan base and see how they feel about losing the guy, the guys over at Next in Line podcast that cover Loudon, friends of ours, we had
Adam.
Yeah, we had Adam on years ago. We had him on the pod when we first played Loudon, and so we keep in contact. Me and him went back and forth on Twitter. Yes, I'm saying Twitter, not X. Fuck y'all. And he was bummed, like
Calm
legitimately
down,
bummed. Sorry, it's stupid. Okay. And so he was like legitimately bummed, said we got a really good one. And so I'm really happy to have that. We had one more player that we saw at the scrimmage as well. And then while we're at the Black and Yellow Bash, they announce all the players, they bring them up on stage, everything like that. And we actually had a player announcement while we were up there. Finally have
before you get there.
We had a Pete leak.
We did get a Pete leak. We were talking to Pete
at the scrimmage.
And he slightly leaked it, then realized, oh fuck, these guys are media. Hold on a second.
He said, "Yeah, we just signed," and then stopped himself. So,
and then walked away.
Yeah, and then stopped talking. But so we kind of knew. But his name is Christopher Shakes. He's a 22-year-old goalkeeper from Penn State, coming straight out of college. Was the Big Ten goalkeeper of the year. Had a very impressive college career, and I'll tell you what, he looked really good at the scrimmage. So we got to see a lot of new faces at the scrimmage, and all four of them honestly were pretty impressive at the end of the day. So I'm very excited for those last four signings that we've announced. Probably the last four that we'll have. We've got 24 players, and then they did announce the 3 academy contract kids. Jay Seiss. Oh, I'm doing this off the top of my head. I did not prep for this because I had forgot about him. Sorry, guys. Jackson Dubois.
Udo
Okatani. Yeah. Good job. We got there, Earl. We got there. So 3 academy contract kids.
I did my
last
homework.
4 signings. Good. I appreciate that. Professional Earl showing up. I forgot.
If you look at my screen over here, I have all my notes.
Good. Wow. Guys, this is a new era in the podcast. If we can get Professional Earl here when I'm here and Harry's here, holy cow. We're gonna take the league by storm. But no, so we saw 4 new players play. They all impressed us. We saw the 3 academy kids play. They all held their own. Nothing else news-wise really came out of the Black and Yellow Bash. Obviously, Earl has his new threads on that we picked up there the first time that we could pick him up, the new Sandia kit. And we got to, it's always fun to go to the bash and see, all the players, hear Coach and Peter talk, get to see David and Ron and Clint and all those guys for basically the first time. We saw some of them at the game, but this is the first time that we get to have conversations with them, walk around, eat some food, buy some merch, have some fun. And so that's why I've gone the last 2 years now. Yeah. So I've gone the last 2 years now, and I'll continue to go as long as they have it, because it really gets the juices flowing for the season. And it's like, all right, it's here. Like when we have the bash, last year wasn't until after the first match, but this year definitely a sign that things are kicking off. And I can't wait. Very excited about it.
Speaking of those new kits, Earl, you weren't a fan of these, but now you are. What changed?
Yeah, I was not a fan. I was not a fan of them. I will be the first to admit it.
Really not a fan. Let's you saying not a fan is an understatement.
Yeah.
Yeah. If y'all seen our group text, Earl hated these kits.
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest. I hated every part of it. And then, but I did say I'd leave the door open until I saw it in person. And then I saw it in person on Saturday and instantly was sold on it and waited to the bash to buy one. I was hoping to have a goalkeeper kit, but the goalkeeper kits are kind of what we've seen before. So spoiler alert, you've already seen the goalkeeper kit. Don't get your hopes up on those ones. The only difference is it has Sandia instead of New Mexico True.
Well, that's not bad, but yeah, I mean, we've been having discussion in our group text all week long about kits, and so we're gonna have something here coming up pretty soon for everyone. So stay tuned on that. Mm-hmm. But Jacob, as you mentioned, the new season's coming up. We can't quite get into new season without a new broadcast rights deal.
Yes, finally.
And we finally have an announcement. And this is part of the reason we have Harry here. Obviously, Harry's been covering the league for just as long as we have, if not longer. And
judging by the color of his hair, I would say longer.
Well, I had to grow the beard so I could fit in with you guys, and it just
There you go. Yeah. But the broadcast rights deals finally been announced. We've known about CBS Sports and CBS Sports Network for a while now, and now we have ESPN and ESPN Plus announcement that came out today. Harry, in your opinion, why did it take the league so long, number one, to announce this, and what do you think about the split of the games, not only the national broadcasts, but how the rest of them are going to be divvied up?
So it's kind of two separate things. One, major deals, because this is reportedly high seven figures. Those take a long time to work through, and I'm sure this has been done sooner than it was announced. Because if you watched USL Access on YouTube, unless you have an XM subscription, Mike and Devin teased it that it was where we thought it was going to be last week. So, and historically, this is kind of where they do announce that stuff. So that way, let's be honest, it creates content, creates discussion, creates buzz. So obviously you do the big announcement about CBS Sports because that is a huge announcement. Think about this. The USL final is on your local CBS station.
Yeah.
So if you're up there in the mountains, as long as you got your rabbit ears up and you can pick up CBS locally, you can watch, whether it's New Mexico United, San Antonio, whoever's in the finals. And that's awesome. I was a little disappointed.
We all know it's none of those two teams, and it's going to be Las Vegas Lights.
They got Fabian Garcia, so what can you say? They're loaded.
So you mentioned the finals on CBS. There's also 2 regular season games on CBS. There's 7
one that leads in, I think the first one leads into the Final Four, right? Louisville on April 6th. Louisville and Indy 11 leads into the Final Four.
Yeah, which is sneaky smart. And then you have 7 matches on ESPN Plus, and then the rest will be on CBS Sports Network.
Well, no, 7 on ESPN.
Sorry, ESPN 2. ESPN 2.
ESPN 2.
That's what I meant.
Mhm.
ESPN Dos.
Yeah.
And then everything else, I believe, is on ESPN Plus. If I'm not
There's
mistaken.
a few shows that are on the CBS Sports Network or the Glazzo channel, and you can get the Glazzo channel for free off of like Paramount Plus or just
Right.
any TV streaming thing nowadays will have that channel.
So
as far
all
as-
I heard is you guys need to keep paying your streaming services.
Yeah,
That's the way of the world, buddy.
It is a little bit of a bummer that like the CBS Sports Network.
We asked for a la carte, and well,
Yeah.
we got a la carte. I'm like,
the
hold
CBS,
on.
the CBS Sports Network and the ESPN2 are matches that you can't get on
ESPN
just
Plus
streaming services. You can't get them without a cable subscription or somebody that has access to a cable subscription. But for us, we only have one match on any of those, and it's on CBS Sports. So that's all we have to worry about until the final. And that's not
April
and that's going to be on
27th.
CBS. So, but for everybody else that follows USL, it is a little annoying to have multiple streaming services and a cable package to watch every match.
But it's
But-
growth, though. It's growth.
Yeah, it is. It's like I'll take that over having our final, or yeah, I'll take that as long as we have having our final on CBS, than having just ESPN Plus. Like that is, it's a massive deal. I think it shows the figure that you mentioned earlier, Harry, along with everything else, along with it being like you have to have Apple TV to watch MLS. You can theoretically watch a USL Championship match, at least one, if you have cable every week. If you just have cable, and that's without a streaming service. Plus, they've left it open so that if your team has a local market that broadcasts your matches, like if we had KOAT or something like that broadcast our matches, that's still available to the clubs as well. And so it's just a huge deal. It's showing the growth. It's showing the ability to appease a little bit wider audience, and especially when live sports it's the only thing that's like left for bid.
Yep.
Hey, Raising Anchors podcast coming in there. How you doing, guys?
And
Thanks for
also,
popping in.
not to interrupt, but
It is separate from FLT.
You
are
mentioned-
correct.
you mentioned KOAT. That is also something that was announced on one of the Facebook posts just a while ago. Is Estrella TV will cover all the
Right.
United matches again. So,
So,
that is also the local market that you get out here.
Must be nice.
and so it's a huge deal for the league. It's a multi-year deal with ESPN finally, instead of just this
And
one-to-one and CBS. So it as a fan of somebody in this league, it kind of brings you peace that, hey, this league is making it. It's growing. It's not going anywhere. And I, like all of us, I'm sure, and all the people listening are super excited about that. Even if somebody might be a little annoyed that they've got to have 2 streaming packages or this or that or the other to watch them. At the end of the day, that shouldn't matter if you're worried if your focus more is on the long-term health of the league and where your club can go from there.
The only negative, and Seth mentioned this, is about the split. I think New Mexico and San Antonio only have one game. To me, that was a little bit disappointing, especially back in 21, 22. They had a revenue sharing split by, attendance, how much you're on TV along those lines here. My experience is those type of deals don't go away, even though they say it's expired. They do tinker with it.
Mm-hmm.
And I understand kind of New Mexico with the baseball stadium. That's kind of a negative for you guys, but you guys hopefully have a new stadium coming in the next 2 years, I believe is what it is.
Hopefully,
for that here, where you guys will be able to have the home games, but having Sacramento get 5 games seemed a little bit excessive to me. I understand Detroit City. I don't like Detroit City, but Detroit City gets numbers.
Yeah, they do.
Like Detroit City, El Paso, they outdrew MLS head-to-head last year. So while I don't like it, you can understand it. But it's just like NFL bitching about, hey, why isn't my team on Monday Night Football or Sunday Night Football along those lines? It's a content creator. It's something to whine about for a day and a half, and then you move on. There's bigger fish to fry, but we're 2 weeks out, week and a half out. It's fun to complain and stay through here, but the only thing that I would, for San Antonio's view, we have one Wednesday match. That's the one that's on TV. The rest are Saturday games. So I'm sure SAFC was probably given the opportunity, hey, if you want more, you have to give up Saturday nights. As a team, is it better to give up Saturday nights where you do draw well for a midweek game to be on national TV? That I don't know, where the economics of that is worth it. So.
But yeah, either way, this is good news. You talked about the fact that both of these deals are multi-year deals. The league is going to be bringing in more TV revenue than they have in the past. The league is going to be available on multiple platforms, and it all shows the growth. And I'm very curious about this comment over in chat. Phil from El Paso Locomotive just had to give you guys glowing reviews on the USL show. I'm assuming he's talking about the club and not us. But
yes, the club.
Oh, is the club? It wasn't us personally?
Because Phil, we've tried to reach out to Phil in the past to collab on some stuff, and just we've also, when RGV was around, we reached out to them as well. Did not get a single response back. So it is what it is. But
that is another thing that I think that hurt San Antonio FC, because if you look at the matches, is the rivalries. Is a lot of them on there. San Antonio losing RGV this year, and they lost Austin Bold, last couple of years. Our closest rival is, I guess you could say, is El Paso, and that's who's on there. So
yeah, we didn't get a rival though. We have Tampa Bay. Like it's a very random
league office,
selection.
buddy. League office.
No, I know. I'm not complaining. I don't care which games of ours are on national TV and which ones aren't. And so I don't know. We'll see.
I don't doubt that one bit. I
don't usually listen live, because when the USL show records and does what we're doing, it's about an hour before us, and I've got kids to put to bed then, so I'll catch it.
Yeah, we heard.
I'll catch it later.
Well, hold on. Is it you that puts it to bed, or the boss? Because we heard the boss.
We both have a hand in it.
We all heard the boss. We're like, oh.
I was scared.
That's why I married.
I still am scared.
She's right behind you, actually.
That's like you looking.
Earl's got to be tucked in tonight.
So,
Promise?
so I had I think we all can agree that the national or these broadcast deals good for the league, correct?
Mm-hmm.
So with that, I've got nothing left to say about it. I'm stoked about it, happy about it. Finally know where we can watch the team and win. Anybody else have anything?
No. But I'm curious about Earl's projection of Las Vegas Lights winning the league here. And Earl, I think it's time you expand upon that and we all get into our season predictions.
Dun, dun, dun.
So this is something we've been talking about doing for a few weeks now. And Harry, obviously, we love having Harry on. Harry, if you guys listen to Harry, follow him across social media, he's very knowledgeable about the league. We've been sitting down the past couple of years and doing our season-long predictions. So how do you guys want to do this? Do we start from the bottom up? Do you want to start from the top down?
Bottom up.
I don't care. Can we start with the East, though?
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. All right. Raisin Acres, don't go far because I think you're going to like this.
You're definitely going to like it for me, guys. You're definitely going to like it for me, too.
So, I mean, Earl, Earl, way to bury the lead there. So, I mean, Harry wants to start at the bottom, so let's go. Who is our bottom dweller? Earl, let's start.
Well, does everybody have Miami Is it even up for debate?
I don't know if Earl knows that Miami sucks this year, so he might have had them like 8th, but I have Miami last. Yes.
Jacob has Miami last.
Well, I do too.
I
You
have
got Loudon?
Yeah, I have Loudon last.
Oh, you guys, no. That might be the team that we have the biggest.
And Seth, who do you got?
Seth has North. What?
Oh,
North
wow.
Yeah.
What?
Oh, okay. We're gonna differ so much on that. Holy cow.
Okay.
Dude, Seth, all right. It's the flag has been planted.
All right.
11th, I have Detroit.
Same.
Ooh, okay. I don't have Miami much different from you guys. I have no faith in that Miami team.
Copy, Earl, not cut. Come on, buddy.
Oh, Earl's doing this? Oh God. Okay.
No, I'm
Well,
doing
you're
mine.
the only one that didn't ask for access. So I'm doing yours and mine.
Oh, okay.
10th, I have Birmingham Legion.
Ooh, really?
I don't have them.
What's causing the drop for you with Legion?
I just don't like who
Oh,
they
wait.
brought in. They lost their best players to Memphis 901, and Mickey Lopez, one of their star players, is out again with another injury, ACL for the year.
Yeah,
But
rough.
I could be wrong. Like I said here, it's
I think-
there's
I think mine's the biggest surprise.
nah.
No. Well, I mean,
No.
Well, who was yours, Jacob?
I have Indy.
Oh yeah, but well,
Indy. Okay. You don't think Mark Lowry keeps it going over there?
so just
Lowry's
missing the
gone.
playoffs.
Oh, is he?
And
I didn't-
ninth,
that's
I have
right, he
Loudon.
is. Loudon. Okay. No faith in the promise that Loudon has shown over the past
Asante.
couple of years.
I just don't know who you bump out of the top.
Hmm.
And Josh, I think, my opinion, the biggest rivalry we have right now is probably going to be El Paso, just because of the whole Armando Moreno taking off, knowing the club
Jacob,
so
who do you
well.
got?
I have Pittsburgh here.
So that's
I can
my
see that.
opinion. I think El Paso's a bigger rivalry just because of Mondo.
Seth? Oh, you got
I got Battery.
Charleston?
Yeah.
Wow. Last spot in the playoffs, I have Pittsburgh as the 8th seed.
Fair. I have
Earl's
Birmingham.
got Hartford. Who do you got, Jacob?
Birmingham.
Making a splash in their first season, Rhode Island. It's in the playoffs.
That's not nearly as big of a splash as you think it is.
You'll be surprised.
Yeah, I still, first year in the league, I think they have a good shot at making it. Whether or not they finish, 8th, but I think it's a fairly conservative guess on what they're going to do
Hartford.
out and they brought in.
So Jacob went with Hartford in 7th. I went with Indy. Earl, do you want to announce yours?
I went with Birmingham.
Loudon.
I like what
6th,
Loudon's done
I
in the past
have-
couple
Oh, shit.
years.
I messed up. Sorry. Loudon's there for me, and then Hartford's at 6. Jump the
Once
gun
flags planted, but we'll make an exception for.
I mean, I'm good with switching them. That's fine. I'm
No,
high
I'm the
on Loudon.
president. I'm the president of Team Jacob. I can allow it.
Good. Appreciate that.
Earl with North Carolina is in the difference. Everybody else has
Carolina.
Hartford.
Hartford did some good things last year.
Harry, our top 5 are the same. Maybe not the same order, but
North Carolina, I have
have-
in 5th.
I have North Carolina in 5th, sir.
Well, we know Seth doesn't.
Nope.
The defending. Louisville City.
Yeah, I think they-
Earl.
I think they stick in the same spot as they did last year.
All
I don't
right.
think they didn't really make any big moves, and they didn't really lose anyone. So I think they stay the same.
I got Rhode Island 4th, the last home spot, and then you'll have Rhode Island, North Carolina as the 4-5 matchup in the playoffs.
That'd be fun. I've got Charleston in the 4.
I have Charleston.
Seth with Indy.
I might be too high on Indy. I could be, but
Way too high on Indy, in my opinion. But
Yeah. 3rd, I got the Rowdies.
wait, if
yeah,
you wait,
no disagreement there.
No, Earl's got them through there. Who'd you have 3rd?
so 3rd, I have Rhode Island.
Rhode Island? Oh, wow. I guess
Not as high
one
as Earl,
spot high.
apparently.
Well, no, well, yeah. Well, shit, yeah. 2nd, I got Charleston. The
I got Rhode
runner-up.
Island. Rhode Island was a big one for me, trying to figure out which one to put 1st and 2nd. I think it's close. I think between
I've got
my
Tampa.
1st and my 2nd is I have Tampa for my 1st.
I mean, Rowdies could easily finish 1st. You know, they just always seem to have that level of talent.
Sam Gleed'll move to Indy, so I'm going with Louisville. And who'd you have in 1st?
Blue City.
Blue City.
Yeah.
So 3 of us have Louisville. Tampa, all 4 of us have in the top 5 or top 3. Seth has the Riverhounds. You know, hard to argue last year's results.
They lost so much, though. So much.
But they always do, though. That's
Yeah,
And Raisin
they've had a
Acres
lot of
can't live.
turnover.
they got Bob
Raisin
Woolley,
Acres
but
can't live in a world where Hartford Athletic is listed above Rhode Island. So Seth, you suck.
I think the pick that's going to get talked the most and maybe even mocked a lot, Seth's North Carolina. Dude, that's
Oh yeah, he gave Jerry some ammo right there.
Jerry doesn't care about the East.
I
I,
don't-
can guarantee you that. But no, they are returning a lot of the players that they won USL League One with,
Mhm.
but then they added several top tier USL Championship players to fill in around them. So I'm high on them. Not as high as I think me and Harry are the highest on them, huh? Yeah, me and Harry are the highest on them, and I think they're gonna be good.
I mean,
So
they very
moving-
well could be. If I'm surprised, if I would not be surprised. I mean, they could do anything. It's just without seeing them play outside of a handful of matches last year, I know they have a lot of talent, but you know, it's going to be tough making that jump.
so moving out west, where this is kind of our bread and butter.
Mm-hmm.
I'll start off as always. Monterey Bay. They lost a lot of talent.
Yeah, I don't disagree with you there. They're a club that they surprised a few people last year with some of the results that they had, but I feel like they've struggled a bit to kind of keep the momentum there. So I don't disagree with that at all.
Who do you got, Jacob?
I have a newcomer to the West,
Tulsa?
and they're the name of Memphis.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Earl,
I have Las Vegas. I'm trying to figure out my computer.
I can figure it out for you.
Okay.
Oh, you got it. Well, I can't figure out your computer, but you can very easily do it. The 11th, I'm going to go with their compadres, even though they have pretty good jerseys. I'll give the Roots through there, but I
Roots,
got
yeah.
Roots as the 11th.
I have Roots as
See-
11 as well.
I think the Roots are a bit better than what we've seen, and we saw
Who'd
the
you have,
run they
Jacob?
kind of went on towards
Monterey
the
Bay.
last year.
Monterey Bay.
See, I'm glad that Raisin Acres is just as crazy as I am, because if this Memphis rebuild works out, they are a sleeper for sneaking into the playoffs.
If the key phrase there, if
I was betting on it.
So this
So
will
it-
probably be the year that they probably do something, because every year I think FC Tulsa is going to be good. And their offseason started out good, and then they're like, hey, let's give everybody away that we just signed. So I got them 10th.
Yeah, I don't see Tulsa doing much this year.
Yeah, I don't know,
You know,
got
much
them in
love to
11th.
our guys out there, but I just don't see them.
I have Orange County.
Orange County? Oh,
Mhm.
wow.
Orange
Making
County's gonna be
friends.
interesting to watch this year.
I'm just not. I'm never high on them. I'm always too low on them. So I figured, why change that this year? We're just gonna.
Earl, who you rolling with?
Fuck Phoenix.
Yeah, Phoenix missing out on the playoffs.
Yeah.
They finished
So
sixth last year, if honest.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and they barely squeaked into the playoffs. The bottom half of it was all given by 1 or 2 points. But yeah, so my 2 10s on both sides are both decent teams that should be better.
I have Memphis just missing the playoffs.
I have Oakland just missing the playoffs because they're always like 8-9. 8-9, 8-9. Always seem to be right in there.
Yeah, I hate to do it. Like, I like Oakland. I like what they're doing. I think they've built a pretty solid core out there. But
God, their kits are gorgeous. I'll tell you.
Kits are great kits too.
Fucking spectacular.
Yeah, they
Earl.
just haven't quite put together a complete season yet. You know.
No.
So I think our motto here always consists of fuck. Josh said it best, fuck Phoenix. There's
Fep.
another very
You already did Phoenix.
Fep.
Fep. Fuck
El Paso.
Yeah. Took Harry a minute, but he got there.
Yeah, so if you haven't noticed, Harry, a lot of our slogans here are considered
I
the
get
word like fuck.
So I'm probably drinking too much of the Kool-Aid, but I put Vegas in as the 8th seed.
Me too.
It'll be
You get
interesting to see what they do.
I'm not sold. Don't get me wrong. They are definitely making some splashes. You know, bring in Solomon Asante, bring in Fabian Garcia, have Charlie Adams over there. I'm not sure it all fits together. And as far as like Asante, I think he's kind of past his prime. But they're trying. And I'm giving them a reward for trying. And that reward is me predicting them to make the playoffs. So they're going to finish last. But
Is that Joey
thinking.
Bats money?
Probably a little bit.
Earl, who do you have in the 8th slot?
I have Tulsa.
Okay.
I didn't realize I was going to be the highest on Tulsa here, guys.
Drinking that Kool-Aid. 7th, I have Orange County. I'm never high on them, but I do think that they're a playoff team.
I think they squeak in though.
Early.
7th as well. What?
Yeah, I think they barely squeak in though.
Jacob.
This is where I've got El Paso.
Seth?
See, I struggled with this one because this is that spot where you've got it lined up, a couple points difference.
Mm-hmm.
And it's going to be tight, 5 through 8. It just is. And I don't have faith that Phoenix is quite reloaded, even from 2 years ago, and their inconsistency last year. And I know John Morris, at least his model was really high on them all year last year. I don't see them finishing higher than about 7th.
I mean, his model was high on them, and they did end up winning the cup. So I can't knock the model.
Oh yeah, no, but you look at the early season results that they had, and still how high.
No, they were.
The model.
I know.
And we've had conversations with him like that. His model was so heavily weighted towards the pass, and I get that you have to pull data from somewhere, but for them to be as high as they were that early with how bad they were early in the year, it was surprising. But they turned it on at the end of the season.
I got the switchback 6 because they always mid-table. They'll start out good, and then they'll hit a slump.
This is where I have Tulsa.
Earl has Monterey Bay.
High on Monterey Bay.
Yeah, I don't disagree with switchback. Same reason as Harry. They haven't gelled. They haven't put that all together.
I have them 5th, right behind Tulsa. So it's not like or right ahead. It's Tulsa. So I pretty much agree with you guys. I just had one spot off.
I put El Paso 5th.
Okay, Earl. Thank you for having Memphis 5 and not fucking 1 like you had earlier.
Yeah, this hurts.
You did. You obviously didn't read my messages a while ago because I said I was just fucking around. That was a senile, crazy Earl.
I have New Mexico 4th to set up a playoff match between El Paso and New Mexico in New Mexico.
I
did that on purpose.
I mean, Yeah, if you, that's
Yeah.
nice. That's
We're
nice.
just I don't know. I haven't. I mean, obviously, I didn't see the scrimmage the other day. We've seen very little actual footage from preseason. We don't know where we're at. I can't see us top 1, 2. I think 3.
Harry, don't hate me,
best
but this
case
is where I have
scenario.
you guys.
No, that's fine. This will probably be my last show.
I thought I'd
We
have
already
somebody
know where
lower
Harry-
than me, honestly.
Third, I got Team Lodi.
This is
Interesting.
one of my hardest ones
Interesting.
here. I Orange County honestly could fall anywhere from 3rd to 7th in my opinion,
Mhm.
but I just don't see anyone below them right now putting together a better stretch than them at some point.
This is where I have
And
Phoenix, by the way.
my 2 and 3 were back and forth. I mean, it could be either one of them. So, just so you know, Harry.
Oh, it's well,
Yeah, Jane here. Yeah, we beat Phoenix in their own house just before the playoffs. We sure did. We sure did.
just because it's a new team, I have San Antonio second.
This is where I have United.
Seth?
San Antonio. Yeah.
And then here's the reason why I'm last on the show. My last day of the show. I got Rising the Champs, number 1. But they're going to choke in the playoffs. They're going to choke it to the lights.
The 3 of us all. That would be hilarious. That would be so funny. I also have Sacramento, guys.
Yeah.
Sacramento never wins.
They just have too many people coming. I don't expect them to win, but I expect them to
they choked in the playoffs, but they can win the 1 seed again.
Yeah.
But they didn't lose. They're the same thing as Louisville. They didn't lose anybody, but they didn't gain anybody.
They gained some talent. They did. I just, it might be my hatred towards Sacramento because I dislike Sacramento.
Fair enough. So let's focus in real quick on. So we all have United hosting a playoff match.
Mm-hmm.
How much of that is? I'll talk to Harry first, since he's technically not a United fan, even though I think he is secretly. How much of that is bias, and how much of it is why do you have them hosting a playoff match after the struggles that we had last year?
Because they got younger, they got faster, they got better. You saw that in the second half of the year when, like, I think if you had the coach and the team that you had in the second half of the year, I think you guys finished top 4. I don't, along those lines here. Mm-hmm. You guys have talked about the depth that you guys brought in, the size that you brought in. Injuries is going to be a key for it here.
Always is. We have a couple already. Bruce is out with a small knock right now.
But he's got younger though. That's the thing though, and it's to me having Bruce come back later in the year is more important than having him at the start of the season because you want that veteran leadership for the playoffs.
Well, and Brucey too. He's not a 90-minute. Go ahead, Earl.
Brucey will be available for March 9th.
Yeah,
but you want to limit his minutes though. That's my whole point. Hopefully he's not. Hopefully you guys have enough depth that you're not leaning on the original guys that were here 4 or 5 years ago. I guess you guys have been in the league now.
Brucey actually, they just put out a post today that he was signed as a trialist 5 years ago to the day today.
Mm-hmm.
So huge that he's still here. I love Brucey. He can be a difference maker.
One question I have, and you guys haven't brought him up, is Nava. Nava's coming back from an injury. With the kind of speed that you guys have, I think your attacking is a lot better. I'm wondering if he comes back healthy and hopefully he's muscled up and matured a little bit more. That here where
he's still not healthy.
Still not healthy.
Yeah, he had a setback, and so we don't have a time frame on when he'll be back. But it's one of those things. It's difficult, and back to Brucey real quick. The thing is with Brucey, he gives you 125% the entire time he's out there. So he's not a 90-minute guy. Give him 60 minutes to give you 125%. Absolutely. But you're not going to get 90 minutes out of him every day because the amount of effort he puts in he would run himself to death if he did that every single week.
I
All
say
right,
give him the 30 though, in my opinion though, for that second half veteran sub that comes on that can help close out games. Because let's be honest, New Mexico's had some issues on closing out games.
Yep.
So here's the ages. I went through the yesterday or yesterday or the day before because I was curious. We have Tambakis, Seymour, Ryden, and that's all the players that we have that are over 30 now. That was not that case last year by any means. We also have 22, 23. So I just read them. 22, 23, 25, 25, 25, 23, 24, 27, 26, 26, 25, 28, 27, 23, 28, 27, 26, 23, and 20. So you take those 30-year-old players out who are going to be starting for us more than likely. And honestly, Seymour and Ryden, two of our best players, even though they're up there at age. What I like about it is behind those two specifically, you have youth, but not inexperienced youth. You've got Talon Maples and Anthony Herbert, Herbert played in Finland the last 2 years. Maples comes over from MLS Next Pro team. So they have experience that's not just, college experience like Kelowna and some others that we had last year. So we have some depth there. I also like Harry mentioned, full off season with Quill, got younger, got faster. I mean, Harris, Mukwele, Gloucester, AO are all freaking quick, man. They all just were flying around both at media day and the black and yellow scrimmage. So I agree with all of Harry's points there. But the moment that I've been waiting for, I'm sure everybody has been, Earl, what does your starting lineup look like?
Okay, let me see. Did I close it out? I think I did. No, I didn't. All right.
What's your formation, first of all?
I have a 4-4-2.
Okay. All right. Good. I'm glad you didn't say like a 3-1-1-1-1-1-1-1. So good. We're off to a ripper.
So I unfortunately have Tambakis at goalkeeper.
At this point in time, I do as well.
Yeah. There are rumblings around the club that there might be a competition between the two to see who's actually better and to see who takes the spot. Right now, I'm giving it to Tambakis. I have Chris Gloucester at the left back.
Same.
I have Ryden at center back.
Same.
We might differ here. I have Herbert as Raisin Acres and taking notes. I still Herbert have as our second back.
I still have Seymour, but I wouldn't argue with Herbert or Talon, honestly.
See, and the good thing about me, Raisin Acres, is I'm the crazy one here, so you don't want to take notes from me. And then my right back would be Zico.
Okay. I have Zico in my starting lineup. That's not where I have him.
Okay.
I have Io over there at the right back position.
And then my midfield, I have Harris on the left side.
Okay.
I have Nikki in the mid.
Okay.
I have Nanan or Landry or Hasu, whatever you guys want to call him at the flavor of the day. And on the right side, I had a hard time with it, but I put Schwartz.
Okay. See, that's crazy because you only mentioned one name that I have in my midfield, and yet that's a fucking great midfield still. Like it's a solid midfield still.
I was torn on who to put.
Because I have a 4-3-3, and so I've got Micheletto, Nanan, and Zico there.
Okay. And then my top two forwards I have is Danladi and Hurst, which Akale was right there as well. I mean,
so I made mine as like a week one, what I project week one to be, and I just don't see Danladi starting week one when we haven't seen him. He hasn't been in any of the team sheets for the preseason matches. He didn't play in the scrimmage. He wasn't at training at media day. So I don't know what's going on there, but to me, it's kind of like I'm worried he might be one of the other strikers that we've had in the past that have come in and just haven't gelled for whatever reason. And him missing all this preseason time and training time with these guys worries me. So I don't have him up there. I've got Hurst, and starting in the middle. Then I have Hakovo on the left of Hurst, and then I have Quele on the right. And I don't know, but the reason why I have them at 2 instead of 4, like Seth and Harry, is I look at that lineup and I don't see a hole. Fun fact about Hakovo Reyes, so you know how we walked back in, Earl, to the black and yellow bash when they were announcing the jerseys?
Yeah.
Whoever won Hakovo's never got back to him. So they actually pulled Hallie's name. And so March 9th, I get to pick up that game-worn Hakovo Reyes jersey.
Okay.
And I'm pretty thrilled about that. I'm going to frame it. I'm going to put it right behind me. And that wasn't why I put him in my starting 11 by any means. He's actually been really good from what I've seen, both at the bash or at the scrimmage and media day. In person, he's looked really good. And he was really good till he got hurt when he was with us last year. So, Seth, do you have thoughts on those? Do you have your own? Do you care?
Are you breathing?
Your soulless robot body care?
No, again, it's unlike you guys, I haven't had a chance to see the guys in action yet.
Yeah,
so
no, it's tough.
I want to see it. I want to see them in action, and I mean, I'll still come up with a projected 11, prior to the first match, no matter what. But I'll have a better idea of what I want to see after match 1. I have the opportunity to see the guys in action. So I mean, and I don't disagree with a lot of, and honestly, right now, without seeing the new guys, I mean,
right?
Yeah, I would stick with what I have, but and you guys thought I was crazy for not having Bees in my starting 11 then. So now that Bees is not with the team anymore, I just don't. I want to see the rest.
And I don't like a shitty thought exercise to do is if I had him on this team, where would he be? And I don't know, man. That midfield is fucking loaded. And you could have him up top in Reyes' spot, probably, maybe Quele's spot, but I mean, it's tough. I think those who haven't seen them in person, there was how many people you think were at the scrimmage, Earl? Probably 200, 300?
Probably about 300.
300. It was the smallest preseason home thing I've been to by far. But to the people that haven't seen them there, because that's the only place you theoretically could have seen them unless you were peeking over a fence in Tucson or something like that. I think take mine and Earl's word at face value, however you want to, but it's I think we're in pretty good hands. I really do.
It's exciting. It's exciting to see what we have.
I missed this. I had us full screen so I could see the logos and stuff. So I kind of haven't seen some of the comments over here, but the Earl's favorite board again comment. I don't know when that was made in what reference, but that's good. I've actually been watching him play for Miami a little bit.
He's actually scoring.
He scored once. He scored once.
That's more than he did here.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I do think though. So me and Earl both had 4 at the back. I do think with Maples and Herbert's additions, I could see us play 3 at the back at times this year. So I'll leave that kind of open there. But no matter what, I'm really excited. Really excited.
Well, fortunately, we don't have too much longer to wait. The USL Championship season gets going in earnest in about a week and a half. So this is exciting time of the year. And obviously the weather is doing what it usually does with 45 mile an hour gusts. And so
that's all?
night might be interesting. Yeah.
That's all.
But
that's
it was not that way on Saturday, just so you know.
That was beautiful.
I did happen to
He
come
got
home with
burnt.
a nice, pretty good sunburn.
Half of his face got burnt.
Thanks,
Harry. She was yelling at the kids, not me.
That's
I
what
don't
you
know.
want us to think.
Well,
Damn it, Harry. I was good. You shook me.
See, you guys thought I was the unprofessional one.
So next week, guys, we have we actually have a regular season preview to do.
Mhm.
Hopefully we get a little more out of the El Paso match than we've been getting out of the preseason matches, but I'm not holding my breath.
No. Especially, well, let me ask you a question. Well, if you're playing in El Paso, you think it's more kind of depth because you don't want to risk any injuries before the season, especially going against a rival.
The problem is if 2 or 3 players are injured already or like picked up knocks and they don't want to play, then it's probably going to be a lot of academy kids because the quote unquote depth you have could, like, I don't know, like if you asked me to pick a second starting 3 in the midfield, I don't know who it'd be because they all could be starters. And so I don't think it's going to be, I think you'll see like 45 minutes of like a B plus team. And then you'll see the second half, if that's the format they use, you'll see the second half be academy kids and stuff like that. But yeah, I don't expect much out of them, out of that scrimmage at all.
Yeah, I wouldn't either. Again, you don't want to risk injury heading into the first regular season game. And, maybe we see some guys get a few minutes, that are getting back into shape. With Brucey having the knock, maybe he gets, 20, 30 minutes. Maybe you see guys getting a half at most. So, like you said, it'll be interesting to see what happens in this last, preseason with El Paso before we, get ready for a home opener. Yeah, can't wait. Exciting time of the year. Exciting. A lot of things going on. Can't wait to be back out in the lab with everybody. Really looking forward to it.
Yeah. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and do the announcement real quick.
Do it.
Josh over in the chat coming in with the, you clicked it too.
Yeah.
Josh over in the chat coming in with, I'm interested in y'all's United kit ranking too. Well, we're interested in yours, Josh. And so with that, next week I'll give you mine. Earl can give you his trash takes as well. Seth might have some, although he's a robot. I don't think he cares. But while we're showing you our rankings, we want your guys's. So what we're asking is, want you guys to send us your top 3. You can use a DM from any of our social media platforms, Twitter, Instagram, or Facebook. Send in your top 3, preferably with pictures, so we don't get confused as to which one's which. We're going to shout you guys out on the show next week, probably show some people's top 3. And then we will randomly select a winner out of the people that do that. And Earl, what are they going to win?
So
Stand
glad
up for me.
because we love.
Stand up for me. Stand up so they can see it all.
I'm trying.
Oh, yeah, he's old. Sorry. So you will win one of those bad boys right there. I've got it with me right now. It's a size large. I can take it to the home match. It's still in the package. If you need a different size, I'm sure they'll exchange it for you. But we've got one of those as well as.
So we're also, like I said, we're big fans of giving shit away. And today, not only do we have a kit to give away, but we also have 2 tickets in section 106, I believe I said.
Yes, right behind home plate.
Right behind home plate. 2 tickets to the match on March 9th, included with the kit. All you have to do is send us your top kits that you believe are the top kits. And just a disclaimer, if for whatever reason your top 3 kits does consist of a white crane shares, that's an automatic winner.
Oh God, no! It's not.
No.
Dear Lord,
no. White crane shares is an automatic done. Nope.
Yeah. So to recap, send in your top 3 favorite United kits of all time to any of our social media DMs. We will shout you out on the show next week, and then we will randomly select a winner that will get a new New Mexico United away kit, the Sandia kit there that Earl's wearing that you've seen all over social media. And you will get 2 tickets to the home opener. in section 106, row C, I believe, which is right
Seats
behind home
1 and
plate,
2.
pretty dang close to the field. So yeah, do all that. We'll pick a winner. Want to get somebody out there. Want to get somebody a kit for sure.
There you have it, guys. Chance to win a kit. Chance to win some tickets.
I do have one final thought, a little bit off topic, but I do think it's important.
Okay, good.
I don't know if anybody's been paying attention, but there's some big fires up in the Texas Panhandle. I grew up in Western Colorado. I know Jacob, is in Eastern New Mexico and rural areas like that where fires can be really dangerous and they can burn a lot. And unfortunately, looks to be a big fire up in the Panhandle area of Texas. So hopefully everybody's okay. There's pictures of cattle happen to run around and stuff like that. So I know New Mexico, Western Colorado, the Panhandle all have kind of similar environments when it comes to that. So
and once they start, especially with this wind, they can travel real fast,
pretty quick,
and a long way. So yeah.
So just thoughts and prayers to the people up in the Texas Panhandle area. I know the runners go back and forth kind of in that area, with the league that they're in. But
they're actually at
being
home this
from the
week,
country, Western Colorado, when you see fires like that, it's not fun, and especially small towns that depend on volunteer firefighters and stuff like that when they deal with these massive blazes or fires that the entire community is not just from that town but locally all come together to help fight them. So
and on that note, not to mow over Harry's comment about the fires, we obviously do care. The runners will be at home this coming Saturday for Union Night, and the first 200 fans to walk through the door will get a replica home kit, courtesy of the Union.
Nice.
Yeah, we didn't do much of a runners update. It was a jam-packed United show, and we need to get Andres on the show.
Aren't you impressed that I brought him up though?
Yeah, I appreciate that. That was professional podcasting right there, Harry.
Yeah, no, we have our San Antonio contingent of runners fans. That's what that is.
Yeah, it's true. All right, guys. Anything else? Did we miss anything?
I don't think so. No.
There was a bus trip to Phoenix that the club just posted about. $50 for a bus ticket and match tickets to go over there and back, plus a couple of blocks of hotel rooms that you can stay in if you want to do that. I think that's March 30th and 31st, if I'm not mistaken. I'm sure we'll sell that out. No, it's not. I mean, you got to buy the hotel still, but for a bus and a match ticket, that's not bad at all. So,
and if you can book a room, bunk with somebody in a room, cost it up, and I believe the hotels are within walking distance and a safe walking distance as well.
Yeah, and they're providing transportation to the match too if you don't want to walk. So you can take the bus over there as well. So yeah, it's a pretty cool deal. It's not chartering a plane to Minneapolis, but it is still a pretty cool deal, and hopefully we can
pretty damn close
get a large contingent of United fans over there to fuck with Phoenix, because we love to do that over there. So yeah, that was the only thing that I had on my list that we didn't cover. A small thing nonetheless, but yeah.
Next week we need to get into Open Cup. We need to get into Open Cup next week because MLS.
Seth, we gotta get going, man. I hear that paddle warming up, man. Come on,
right?
Dude, I'm scared. I'm in San Antonio. Earl's next, but shoot.
All right, yeah. Let's do that. Let's go ahead and get.
I mean, I like it rough, so it's whatever.
It's my wife, Earl.
No.
You took it too long, Seth. 118 should have been the cutoff, man. 119 now it's crossed over.
Now we're just like you might as well talk about wrestling and all kinds of shit now. No,
oh, man.
Harry, thanks, man. Love having you on. Love the insight. I also like that you're like pretty level-headed when it comes to this stuff, and you're not crazy for your team, even though I think you did have them the highest in the rankings. But
no, that's not true.
Didn't you have them too? I don't remember what the rankings were.
Yeah, but somebody else, I think.
Yeah, I did. I had them at 2. Yeah, I had them at 2.
Oh, so you get them tied for the.
I had them at 3.
Yeah, I had him at 4. So
Yeah.
I was the lowest. Wow, I'm sorry. I'm truly sorry. But no, seriously, thanks, man. I appreciate you coming
Hey,
on.
San Antonio is going to pass this year. We went to the match where they played Antigua GFC, and they actually passed back. We were all like, "Oh, what the hell is this?" So watch out.
Wow. Oh my goodness. I'm nervous now. Not really. Not at all. No. So there you have it. So we covered so much, guys. Covered so much. Had our preview. Had a bunch of signings to cover. All in all, super excited. We're 11 days away from March 9th and opening night at the Lab. Harry, do you guys play that night too?
Yeah, against Loudoun United. So
March 9th there
and
too.
then the match, to circle back to the national TV, the second week is San Antonio and Tampa. I'm surprised that's not a national TV match with San Antonio going against Jordan Farr, but
should be. But nonetheless, you'll still be able to watch it somewhere because all the matches will be at least somewhere. So we found out so much this week, in the last 2 weeks. It's been like 3 weeks since we've done an episode, 2 or 3 weeks since we've done an episode. So there was a lot to cover. Thank you for bearing with us. We ran a little long tonight, but I think it was worth it in the grand scheme of things. Remember to send your top 3 United kits for a chance to win a jersey and some tickets to the home opener, the season opener on March 9th. And I'll put a social media post out about that here now when we get off as well. But I think that we also have some other cool stuff coming down the pipe for you guys. Everybody in the chat, there's too many to name tonight. There's just way too many over there. Love all you guys. Thanks for coming on. And cannot wait for next week to start actually breaking down a regular season match and talking about some kits, talking about some U.S. Open Cup. Tune in again next Tuesday. We'll be back here at 8 o'clock with or without Harry. He does have a life, so we'll see what he decides to do and what we decide to do there. But thanks again. We love you guys. And until next week, somos lindos.